We are getting cozy. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the first official podcast episode of Soul Munchie. I am so honored that you guys are tuning in. So excited to start this exciting journey with you guys where we just sit back, get baked, and talk. Let's get into it. I really didn't have much planned out. I wrote out some things, like today's theme of the episode is going to be about how Soul Munchie started, where the inspiration came from, how I started my own edible business at home, and just like advice for other entrepreneurs, content creators, home bakers at home, or anyone who's chasing your goals. So that's what today's episode is going to be about. And I really haven't prepared. No, I've prepared. I have a whole Notion sheet about what I'm going to talk about. All of my Notion girlies out there or boys, any Notion experts out there, if you know, you know, Notion is great. So I have bullets of how I want to talk about this podcast. And this is still super learning to me. Like, I have to figure out where I should be speaking in the mic. But thank you for your patience and thank you for tuning in. Let's get started. It kind of feels so, what's that word? Like, it feels so surreal to be filming a podcast because this is something that I've thought about for so long. This has been in my mind for definitely months, longer than 6 months. I would say even like could be years, like a year and a half. I don't know. I like to talk. I love connecting with people. I genuinely love to connect with people, and I feel like this is a super cool and safe space where I get to share a lot of my thoughts. And then if people want to tap in and listen, and they can, and I hope that if they feel like they thought of these thoughts, that they don't feel judged, but then they feel like they're not alone and like there's someone else out there who also thinks like you. Yeah, let's get a drink of a kombucha. This is my own kombucha. Yeah, I get free kombucha every single day at home. Kombucha is expensive out there. It's like, I saw someone on Instagram post their supermarket, and their kombucha prices were only like $3 to $4. In New York, that shit goes up to like $5 to $10 for kombucha here. So I'm very happy that I brew my own kombucha. So first, let's start off with Munchie of the day. And today I ate a strawberry crumble cookie, and that was so good. This was just a random idea that I had when I was laying in bed, and that's where a lot of my inspirations and ideas to test out these new recipes come from. It's when I'm at the end of my day, just finally relaxed in the comfort of my bed, and I'm scrolling on TikTok, and then I'll get inspirations of what recipes to try. This recipe, I'm so obsessed with our strawberry shortcake cupcake that I was just thinking about ways of how I could make this cupcake taste into another type of dessert. And then I thought of, what if I make this into like a crumble cookie? Like, the crumble cookie now that is so viral and it blew social media off. I was like, what if I make my version of a strawberry crumble cookie? And I did it, and it's so good. The base is cookie, but it has a cake texture, so it's like a light fluffy cake cookie, and then it's swirled with cream cheese frosting, which is so good. It's not too sweet. The cream cheese adds a little tartness to the frosting, and it balances the cookie sweetness. Topped with strawberry shortcake crumbs. That cookie is phenomenal, and I had some before this podcast. The cookie's supposed to be released today, but your girl is working on it. I need to make an IG reel about it, and it's Friday. I got off of work and I'm getting to it. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna make that IG reel, but haven't released it yet. The cookie will definitely be released when this podcast is out, and I highly, highly, highly recommend you guys to try this cookie. It is seriously life-changing. It's so good. So today is Friday, but it's not only Friday, it is also International Women's Day. Shout out to all my women out there. You ladies are killing it. You made it this far at the best original way that you know how to, and women are so awesome. Women are the best. Women are super cool, and all of our traits about us, from us being go-getters, determined hustlers, to having our soft, creative, flowing, nurturing side. Like, women are so cool. And also shout out to our men who appreciate and take care and respect and make our ladies feel safe, because we can't do this on our own. We need men to help us along and do it with us. So shout out to all the men that makes us feel safe, makes us feel valued, makes us feel appreciated, allow us to tap into our feminine side. Thank you. Shout out to all the women. Y'all are killing it. Sometimes it's hard for me to talk about like male and female stuff, because I don't know, I feel like there's just there's like a difference in generational thinking. Like, there are some hate for males out there now, but there's also hate for females out there. And I am not in any of those. I love all of our people, and I think that males and females are equal in value, but our roles and responsibilities are different. And when we're able to bring the best out of ourselves, we're able to bring the best out of others. Let's get into the episode, guys. Today, let me take out my notes, my Notion. You guys know what it's all about, Notion here. How did I start an edible business at home? Soul Munchie was a product of 2020. If you guys can remember, it feels so long ago, but at the same time, it feels like it was just a year ago when COVID happened. We were all locked down, protests. It was such a strange time in our lives. It was so unique. Like, we've never really experienced where the entire world was going through the same thing, and it being documented, like technology and like experiences was being shared at such a fast pace. It was such a crazy time. But that's when Soul Munchie started. Soul Munchie started when we were locked down and everyone was baking. Everyone and their moms was making bread, cakes, cookies, and I've always loved to bake. I am huge food lover. Like, food is my love language. I love experiencing new types of cuisines. I bond with people and culture through food. Just culturally, I'm Asian, I'm Chinese, and food is so important. Like, we speak through food. Our parents don't say sorry to us. They hand us a plate of fruit. So food has always been a language of mine, and it's a love language of me. I love gifting people food. I love just sharing the recipes that I make, and hopefully like the people would get really touched and they get to taste all the delicious flavors and the love that I've put into that dish. And then also, I'm a lover of canna. Like, I love the Mary Jane during 2020 times. Like, she has been there with me. It was super anxiety provoking. Like, our lives has change. We had a routine of going into the office, seeing these certain people for 5 days a week, and then we had activities. Like, our lives completely stopped and we didn't know how to function. Like, when you take a routine out of someone, you get kind of lost and like confused, and that whole world went through that. Mary Jane just really calmed me down. While it was very anxious and nervous time, Mary Jane made me feel I was able to build confidence, and I connected to the universe, higher power. Like, I connected to myself so much more in 2020, and canna has helped me with that. I've just become a more introspective, a deeper, more sensitive, more empathetic, more compassionate human being with canna. So I combined my two loves of food and canna into one product, and I started just making edibles. I was baking cookies. Literally, this was how it started. It's so funny thinking back about it now, but I know when Soul Munchie gets even bigger, like it's gonna be so funny thinking about it now, where I'm making like cookies and cakes and cupcakes and like all these desserts in my tiny little New York apartment, and I'm making meetups and sharing people my products. But anyways, how it started, I was living at my boyfriend's parents' home. Like we were all locked. There was 1, 2, 5, 6, 7 people and a baby coming in one household, and I was like in the bedroom that me and my boyfriend were living in. I had a small little crock pot and I was making canned butter in there, and it was such a great time. And I was testing out so many cookie recipes. Like I was baking chocolate chip cookies every single weekend, trying to perfect this recipe. Like I would test it out when it would be more of Levain style cookie, where it's like larger and fluffier and crumblier and just bigger. And then I tested out so many different cookie recipes that I love, like the Entenmann's cookie box. Love that shit. That is one of the best chocolate chip cookies out there. It's so soft and just like melt in your mouth. Yeah, I would try out so many different cookie recipes until I felt like I perfected my recipe with the gold oil that I had, where you could taste the deliciousness of the dessert without really tasting the gold oil. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I started baking the cookies, and then it calms me down so much. Like I was doing edibles because I love to bake, and also I was trying to protect my lungs. Wanted to, not inhaling is very fun with friends, do the puff puff pass, but then also wanted to give my lungs a break. As well as edibles, it lasts so much longer and it's way more fun. And bake cookies, and I would share it to friends, and my friends would always come back telling me like, you should sell this, like this is a product, this is something that could become a business. And every time I shared it, I would constantly get friends coming back for more, and then I would have friends who would ask like, can I buy this off of you? Like, can you make a batch and I'll just pay you? And that's slowly, like small things like that started building the inspiration of like, oh my God, like what if this could be a thing? And yeah, I just kept doing it. Like I started testing out different flavors. Every time I made something delicious, I was like, ooh, what if I could make that into a Soul Munchie? And so in 2020, that's when I started practicing. Every single weekend I was baking and testing out different recipes. And then in 2021, I felt confident in my recipes, and we launched on 4/20/2021, of course, obviously on that date. And it's been growing ever since, and it's like the coolest thing ever. I am so in love with Soul Munchie. It is my baby. I love the experience that I get from it. Every time I have it, I feel closer to the universe. It's like a gateway for me to open up to so many different universes, and I feel more in touch with myself. I'm so much more nicer to myself and to other people. Like so many creative ideas come to me when I'm on it. I feel lighter. I'm way more in tune with my body. Doing stretches just feels so good, and I get to hear like what parts of my body needs more attention. It makes me into a better person. Like I get closer to the person that I want to be when I'm on it consciously, because there are some times where I just use it to like numb my body, to just relax, because I had such a long day and I need to like just tone it down. I'm consciously using it to better myself, and it's just been incredible. The experience that I have, right? I want to be able to share that to the world. Like I would get feedback from my clients, and they would tell me they had the best sleep ever. Like they were able to sleep 8 hours the entire night, and they couldn't remember a time they slept like that. Or they would share how it helped them tap back into their creativity. Like someone told me that he was on a writer's block for the longest time, and then he had a cookie and he started writing again. And then that stuff makes me feel so good, because I want to make such a delicious product where it tastes so good at that moment, and also after, when you eat it, the experience that you have, it's going to be life-changing. Like, I wanted to provide an experience that can help you get closer to where you want to be, or help you get better, or even if it's just relaxation, if that's what you need, because we're always in such a hustle mindset. I want it to be something so delicious and give you a wonderful experience, because that's what Soul Munchie gives me. Like, I love it so much, and I just really want to continue to give that piece of it to other people. Yeah, it's crazy to see how much it's grown, and I love making content for you guys. I love just sharing this part of my life that I kind of sheltered out for so long. For a while, I was ashamed about my canna side, the fact that I had a edible side business. But then this year, I really started accepting it and just sharing with people. And the outcome's been great. For the most part, I would say like 98% of the people has been super supportive and curious, and like just eager to learn more and congratulate me, which is so cool, because I felt like I created that stigma in my head then, like, no, actually there are some parts of the community that I feel like is not as welcoming, but for the most part, it's been so awesome sharing it with people, and they've just been so supportive about it. So like, and I'm sure that's one of you guys watching right now. Thank you so much for your support. Always. That's our number one priority for Soul Munchie is our customers. Like, without you, this would not be possible. Without you, I would not be able to speak through the camera right now and like do all of this. So thank you so much for your support. I am truly blessed and truly honored, and that's why I take the feedback. I really try to make it the best experience that I can for the customers, because none of this would be possible without you. Another reason why I wanted to start Soul Munchie was because I wanted to have a representation for females and Asians in the canna phase. Sometimes it's lonely and it's weird for a girl to go get her stuff. I feel like kids nowadays are so lucky in New York with the dispensaries, or, you know, kids, you can't go to the dispensaries, but like, you know, to get this education that you could search for it online, and then you go to a literal store and there's professionals that would give you recommendations. Like, that was not the case back then. Before it was legal, we would have to meet certain people at corners, and that's how you get it. And as a female, it was just uncomfortable to do that. Like, I don't want to be meeting another guy at the corner. And I like, sometimes, these drug dealers, they really be pushing the line. Like, I'm just here to get my stuff, and that's it. But yeah, so I wanted to have an Asian female representation here, and I'm doing that. It's a hard and long path, but I'm doing it, and I'm meeting some really, really cool other content creators out there, which is awesome. Shout out to the ladies out there. Happy International Women's Day. The vision, the long-term goal for Soul Munchie, I have so many different ideas, and I'm open to all of them. I'm going to let the universe decide and handle it for me. I'm just going to focus on what I can control and continue making this as fun as I can. Many different avenues. One of them, for the longest one, was to open a cafe. I feel like having a weed dog cafe would be so cool in New York, where it could be like Boris and Horton, but a dispensary too. We'll have open spaces, cafe style. You could come get your coffee, your latte. It'll be delicious lattes too. Like, we'll have a cookie butter latte or like a rose honey latte. And then there's treats for the dogs as well. We'll also have we'll have our edibles, of course. There'll be like cupcakes, but then we'll also make a savory side, like maybe sandwiches and wraps. And the cafe is going to have large space so the dogs could walk around and people could comfortably walk and greet the dogs. And then also you could work there. We'll have a backyard for people who want to do the puff puff pass. Wouldn't that sound like a great idea in New York? I feel like that would be so fun. So that's one idea. Let's see. Another idea is just to continue doing this. Like, this is so cool. The fact that I'm talking to a mic and and there's you guys out there, and we have a whole friendship and a whole community, and I get paid for this. That is so cool. I would love that. So yeah, content creation, having a podcast, that would be super fun. And filming just my day-to-day life and Canna vlogs, that'd be so fun. Obviously continue doing this, like having a home bakery business, because this is great too. Oh, one more thing is, how cool would it be if I get to distribute Soul Munchie? Like seeing Soul Munchie products in dispensaries, oh my god, that would be mind-blowing. That would be so cool. Like, how that would be awesome. Oh my god, just seeing my packages there, people being able to grab them off the shelves, and seeing the characters. If you guys don't know, the flower and the cookie have their own names. So Soul is the flower and the cookie is Munchie. I've always wanted to do a storyline with them, just like their day-to-day lives. You know, I'm not a designer, so maybe one day that could happen too. So many ideas. Last portion of the podcast, let's talk about advice. How do you start your own side business? I get this question a lot, or I'll get people asking me like, how did I start my content creation? How do you just start your own business? I don't know how to say it, but you just do it. You really, it's like such a generic answer, but it's as simple as that. You don't need any fancy equipment. I don't have any fancy equipment. Most of the things that I'm recording with is my iPhone. Like you don't need a mic. You don't need this thing. You could just get like a little wireless mic that you get from TikTok for $10, and that works just as well as this mic. It's really that simple. Like, just do it. Just start off. Don't care about what other people will think. You're not living your life for them. Don't live your life for other people, because you can't control other people. Other people are not consistent. Like, there's going to be days when people are proud of you and supporting you, and then there's going to be days when people go through their own shit and they don't feel to support you, and then you're going to not do things because of them having a bad day that has nothing to do with you. Like, don't care about what people think. It's about what you think. It's about what matters to you, because you're living this life for yourself. So honestly, just do it. Like, have one small thing and try it out. I love to write things down. I love to goal set, but I'm not like super strict on it where I like check every single day, and like if I don't meet a goal, I bum myself out. I write down the visions that I want. I do that yearly and monthly, so then that helps me keep track of my goals and where I stand and how to keep getting closer to my goals. To-do list, constant. I love having a to-do list. It keeps me focused. Like, when I have a moment of boredom, or if I'm too overwhelmed with what I have to do, I just look at my to-do list and it'll tell me what tasks to focus on. But yeah, it's really as simple as that. It's just like starting it. When I was first doing my content creation, it took a lot longer than how long it takes me now to edit, but that's because I didn't know. It was my first time learning it, and when you're first time doing anything, it's always going to be setbacks and confusion and like frustration, because this is your first time. Give yourself grace. When I was first doing content creation, it used to take me like 2 hours to edit a 30-second video. Now I could get it done in like 30 minutes, and that time span difference was just like 2 months. Just 2 months of me learning how to use these platforms to edit my videos. You really just, each day you're gonna get better, and I started noticing the growth that I had, where I knew what button to press, I knew what sound was gonna sound good, I knew how to do the transitions. You start feeling it after a couple of weeks, and I get really addicted to that feeling. I get addicted to the feeling of growth and progress. So that's what motivates me a lot. I actually try to make things addictive, and I will use that as motivation. I don't know if this is like super healthy to share with you guys, but I'm good at controlling my addictions. I think I use a lot of it for motivation. So like Hannah, for example, I would tell myself like I'm gonna take a hit when I finish working on this project for an hour, and then I get focused. I have a reward at the end, and I'm able to go into a flow for 1 hour, and then when I do get the reward, it feels great. Just try and be consistent. Consistency is key. I think that's what makes successful people. It's consistency. Hard work and consistency. Hard work is more doable. A lot of people can put in the effort, but a lot of people can't stay consistent. So consistency and hard work, and don't care about what other people think, because it doesn't matter. You're not even gonna like talk to some of these people in 5 years, but you are going to talk to yourself forever. So who would you rather please? Alrighty, friends. And that is the first episode of Soul Munchie. That's so nice to say. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you so much. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Let me know in the comments of what you want to talk about next. I am just so thrilled, excited, honored to continue doing this, and I can't wait. I really want to start interviewing some people, and I have super cool people that are going to provide great value to this podcast. So stay tuned.